We're going to see what 9.1 strats both of these teams have, as we actually do have that Warlock being broken out by winning lane kick, and here they go right into that first pull.
Here we go. It looks like it's going to be a little bit different, too, from both teams. Wow, Perplex pulling just... Is that triple Trash Packs on top of Incinerator as well? Okay, that's kind of scary. If that Inferno cast goes off, we're going to see a very quick wipe from any team that goes for that pull. Winning lane kick, however, completely opting to go for a different strategy. They've skipped Incinerator entirely and are going straight into Globgrog.
Yeah, interesting. Unfortunately, their mage is already down here for winning lane kick. Oh no, and you saw the expression as well with the camera right there, the face palm coming out. Oh no, it's very unfortunate. They should have a battle rest the Warlock can use to get him back up. But it looks like he just procced Cauterized, and he also had the Seed proc as well. Very unfortunate, as Perplexed is almost done with their pull. I actually wonder if the Fungalmancer cast does buff the Tormentor as well. I would assume it does, right? So that's something they have to watch out for.
Yeah, no issues as well.
And now they're getting that anima power. Yeah, that was a really nice pull. And Wolf actually playing Frost. So he's playing Frost Mage here in Plague Ball instead of the Fire Mage on winning lane kick side.
You're just able to do it with this pack as well, and you can get these orbs from the Goliath right now instead of saving it for later. You won't have any of the orbs on the boss, but I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think so as well. They might even be able to carry this buff into the next. It hasn't been picked up yet. Oh my god, please don't forget about it. Who is it? It's Ryzen, right? There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wait, no, it was Ashine. He was waiting for the grip. Oh my god.
He just gripped him into the orb. The healer's carrying the DPS once again. Good job, Ryzen.
All right, I have received the tech for how Sonic's Imperative are pulling through the walls here. This is a nice one. Okay, so it is actually their tank who is doing it, utilizing a trinket from the Tazavesh, the new mega dungeon. It's called Codex of the First Technique, and it says when you take damage, you have a chance to unleash the first technique, reflecting incoming damage, and the reflected damage is dealt to whatever you're targeting. So once this procs, you can target something through a wall, and it will then deal the damage to them and pull them through the wall for you. Yeah, no bears whatsoever. Both teams on those Demon Hunters, and they're going to have to kite fairly soon here, perhaps. Oh, here comes these big pulls. Wow, what is going on here for Evolving? Oh, Alex is taking so much damage.
Oh. Okay, there we go. He did manage to recover a little, but you can see the Seed already being procced here for Sonic's Imperative Mage, who is playing Frost Mage. And look at the amount of damage Shella is doing on this Distraction. Warlock's completely annihilating his pack.
200K?
Going up to 200k in DPS. Oh my god, this is incredible. I don't know what he's doing, but he's just completely destroying this pack.
He's done so much damage that it has bled over to the Sonic's Imperative dungeon and has started dealing damage to their players as well. Started killing some of them off just from across the server here. That is just insane what Shella has been able to make happen here. Looks like they are going to skip around here. They are not interested in that first Hellion, but they will be... And they're not interested in Sagadon there either, or in Varuth there either. So they're not going to pull the Executioner. That means they're going to be dealing with the last boss with a healing reduction. Here's Sagadon. Let's see what they're going to deal with in this area. And yes,
where's Andy going?
He's going off on an adventure towards a Hellion pack over there. And are they going to be bringing this back onto Sagadon, perhaps? Oh, Sagadon's getting Mind Soothed. No, they're not. So Sagadon is also getting skipped, as everything around Sagadon is getting pulled and getting pulled through here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, so they pulled everything perfectly through. Ashen Hollow goes down. This pull is absolutely massive. You did see a leg sweep come out, and right as that leg sweep expires, they drop that Kyrian Spear to keep all of the mobs stunned for another 10 seconds. But it's Sanguine. Ring of Peace comes out to try to separate the mobs away. And the Hellions are just standing in that Sanguine Dratnos, healing back up for a second. They both leap out in unison away from it, pulsing AoE on the rest of the party. Ooh, that was a really scary pull by Sheesh, but they were able to get it done. That was a great Ring of Peace.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts about this expansion is the mobs that are thematically the same, doing the same abilities between different dungeons, right? So you have those mobs that cast the Meat Shield, and they're in this dungeon and they're also in Necrotic Wave, right?
Yeah.
And if you know how to deal with them in one dungeon, that knowledge transfers over to the other dungeon as well. And that is a really tough
Oh,
mechanic
Dranos!
What?
Oh my gosh! Do you know what's happening? I think Wildy is going off, and he's going to pull Gorechop, and it's going to snap them all the way through the floor.
Yeah, okay, I know, let's take a look at what this is going to look like here.
He's going to have to fight Gorechop for something in the range of probably like 10 to 15 seconds before he does his first
Yeah, so
rip
it's going to be Ice
but
Block.
He has
Ice
block.
Block is the technology you use here. And so, yeah, here he goes. He's going to get his Disciplinary Command first. He's Ring of Frosting those two mobs, and he's going to get combat with all of these
he's pulling
things.
more mobs.
He's going to pull Gorechop as well. Okay, now he's running away.
This is so
he's
cool.
Altered back to the front of the room. Mobs are now coming at him. He's going to alter back over, and he's going to pop his Cauterize and then hit his block.
This is scary.
And now Gorechop is about to pull everybody down.
Bop him.
The rest of the group is going to come down, and yeah, he's going to need a bop rapidly. Banner's going to bubble. The bop
Look,
comes
there
out
it is. There's the bop.
There it is. Beautiful.
Oh, that's so good. Ashen Hollow, Bloodlust. All right, chat, you guys have to clip that. There's a clip feature in the YouTube player. I don't know how well it works, but you need to use it.
Yeah, that is a fantastic piece of technology being deployed there by Sheesh.
Yeah, that's definitely really good for them. And then you also have the additional damage from the Holy... Actually, I'm not really sure if he used Ashen here on Evolving side. It looked like they were dealing with it pretty quickly. Perplex was actually a little bit slow at the very end of that pull because they didn't have an interrupt for the meat shield. So the Horde basically just had half his health in a shield because they didn't have an extra interrupt for that with all the Sludge Spewers needing to be interrupted. So that's why that pull took a little bit longer for Perplex, as they're now moving on and doing this insane pull that we have seen before in Season 1, where they just go with the patrol and all of the mobs here, plus the gas bag. So this is a pretty dangerous pull, especially since they just did a big pull before. So they're going to be not having all of those cooldowns up. We see the True Shot being popped by Wolf Disco and the PI as well, probably being buffed to Wolf as well. Yeah, there we go. You can see the PI on the Hunter. And Swag still doing more damage. Yeah, nice procs.
Just spin to win, man. That's all you gotta do. Just spin and do more damage, and then maybe do double damage with Bone Dust Brute too. That's pretty sick. Yeah, I mean, they're making it look easy, right? Their 2 minute cooldowns were spaced out perfectly for that. They used the 2 minutes on the big pull upstairs, then they had them back up for the big pull downstairs because that first pull took a long time for them to finish off. Like, so it's just really well planned out the way they have this dungeon set up. I guess I was a little wrong when I was saying there weren't a lot of big pulls. You can make the pulls big in this section of the dungeon, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen people try to go for a strategy where they just pull all that trash on top of the boss as well. I'm sure at some point in the season we'll get to the point where teams feel comfortable enough to do that. Maybe if we had like a lower level theater key, you could see that happen. But yeah, I mean, massive AoE pulls, and then you have good focus single target too coming out of the sub rope for bosses like this.
Yeah, Evolving though on the other hand... Oh, okay, so they actually are doing that snapping strat, it looks like, as the misdirect is coming out on the pet here, and Lucy is now attempting to do it, but I'm not sure if it's actually working out for them right here, as he does go down. Oh, so he had lost his turtle, and there's definitely something that went wrong here for sure.
But it's all going to come down to the Ingram Malak burn here. Can you get Ingram Malak one-phased on this difficulty? It is a 21 Tyrannical, so the boss has a ton of HP to chew through. But you can see that Perplexed is actually opting to cleave Ingram Malak a lot more than Evolving is. And that kind of makes a little bit of sense here, right, too? Because if you're actually full-on burning Drummond, you're going to get really, really weird timings with the Visage that fears your entire group. But you can see the Perplexed got that Visage, got a little bit more cleave damage, and then they're going to go into the Ingram Malak burn phase, and it would not surprise me at all if they were a lot lower on Ingram Malak damage. Let's see how it pans out for them here. Looks like Evolving got to that 40% mark. Let's see how low Perplexed gets it.
Yeah, so it looks like Evolving really didn't get the boss too incredibly low, while Perplex, on the other hand, is absolutely nuking that boss.
20?
Wow, okay, that's crazy. They might even just be able to finish off Ingar here without having to kill a Droman. And that's exactly what they're doing, so I'm gonna eat my words here. As I said, they're probably not gonna go for the one phase with this composition, and it looks like they can. Huge amount of damage is coming out of Perplexed to one-phase Ingran at 21 Tyrannical. That is absolutely crazy. And they're running the exact same comp as Evolving. So I'm not sure what they're doing differently. And that is something that I mentioned yesterday already. But this mace in Mists is now not set anymore, It is set for both of the teams, but they don't know which one they're gonna get beforehand. So the mace itself is RNG, but it's the same for both of the teams. So they have to figure it out. Usually the healer does. Oh no! It looks like Perplexed actually did go into the wrong area. As you can see, they all got ported back. So whatever happened,
Wait, what?
It didn't work out. Yeah. So I'm not sure who was the one checking the maze, but whoever it was unfortunately didn't get the correct one. So hopefully they can get the correct one now, as they are head-to-head really. I mean, this is a chance for Evolving to catch up.
Yeah, I much prefer this route from Sonic's Imperative. So they pulled all the ticks, but notably they had the 10 stack of the Lantern, so they had that 50% damage buff and healing buff to be able to deal with all of this stuff. Ooh, and right as we're talking about this, the healer from Sonic's Imperative goes down. Wolf dying. The rest of his party is still at 50% HP. They're all in Grievous. They get a battle res out from the Warlock, and I think that they're going to be okay, but that was not great.
Yeah, and now winning lane kick is actually pulling Incinerator here on top of Crixus and Trash as well. This is actually pretty crazy. As they're committing at lows as well, they're dropping incredibly low. I mean, look at all of those HP bars is going down and back up, but they do have the Ashen down by their Holy Paladin, making sure that everyone stays alive. And he's doing a good job keeping everyone alive, but that was really scary. They did manage to get all the Trash done now, except this Brute with a slither of HP. So it should be done, but you can see the boss is still pretty high. Because, of course, they were focusing all of this trash that had to go down first.
We're getting word from analyst Ironic that apparently Powerhouse Mage does not have a legendary. I'm looking on the...
Oh, yeah, he's playing a Frost legendary! Oh, no, Powerhouse.
Somewhere,
no.
Somewhere, Automatic Jack is frowning intently at his guildie wearing a Frost legendary and Fire specialization. He's going to have a chat with him about this later, I think. About the importance of legendaries.
I wonder if his Frozen Orb is going to give him a lot of Finger of Frost procs here in this Spider. Unfortunately, Wolf did go down. They did manage to get the rest back up. Looks like they are cleaving down those banners, not trying to exactly focus them as well, but still slow as you can see as this one's coming out. And Powerhouse, unfortunately, going down here. They do have that battle rest that I talked about earlier, so they are able to get them back up, and they still should be fine. But after that, they cannot make any more mistakes because no more rest is left.
Yeah, and now you have the next set of banners coming out. Zav, Sargadon has been pulled. Oh no, this is so bad.
No.
This is gonna be full wipe. This is gonna be a full wipe. Yeah, this is it. They're gonna have to repull Zav. They're gonna have to walk back through the swing. They did also skip that mini boss that was on the way, so they're gonna have to pull that as well. This is absolutely catastrophic.
They might be able to get a...
No.
If their Paladin would go down, they could get a rest on him, so you can rest them up on the top, but it doesn't look like that's possible as he got sent down because the rest of the people were dead, so there were no 2 DPS available for the arena, and they're still gonna survive though because the boss reset, right? Yeah, there we go. So cooldown, but it's such a good cooldown. So you can really just plan your whole pools around that, making sure you have Ashen available for those pools that you want them for, and there's no maybe few other offensive cooldowns up from the other damage dealers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that really shows a team's experience in competing and in doing these dungeons. Oh, and we'll screw that, getting very close. That was a scary moment for a second, but I think they've stabilized. But yeah, I mean, the teams that are able to... before I go on, sorry, Apes Together Strong, they've activated their Bloodlust whilst they were out of combat. I think someone may have... Well, I mean, it would have been Luca, but I think they've accidentally clicked Bloodlust.
Yes, yeah. I think what happened was that they wanted to skip ahead to these lubricators and these oils, but then I think it was the mage that got caught out. And if you get in combat with the lubricators, then you actually global combat your whole group. So what must have happened is that Luca maybe panicked and accidentally clicked Bloodlust instead of like Invis or Blink or whatever else he wanted to click. And which, of course...
And you can see they're just cleaving through this pack here. They commit the spear. Now they've got to look to try and get a little knockback, try and get these mobs out of the Sanguine. It's a little bit messier than we saw from Sheesh, but still I think it's looking clean enough that, you know, this pack isn't taking too much longer than it needs to. So yeah, good to see from Sonic's Imperative.
Oh no, they got knocked in. Oh no! Oh no! Bron just spawns and knocks every single mob into the same Bron the griefer coming back, coming out in full force and knocking every single mob in. Right as side jinxes every single thing that has happened for them. Huh?
Nah, Bron's a hero. Okay, Bron was just Bron does his thing. Okay, he's either with you or he's against you. Okay, and look, he says, "See you later, guys. I'm out. I've done my job." And he dips on out. Oh no!
Even though they're not running with that Guardian Druid, they are pulling bear pulls, is what they're called in the industry, where there's these absolutely massive pulls that just have to get burned down within a few seconds. And so now you see, look at this again, evolving, retooling. Alex grabbing all of this trash. He does have access to his Kyrian file if he needs a nice necrotic reset, but this is really dangerous from that. He needs to make sure that he is kiting, or not kiting these mobs, but he's able to tank these mobs. He preemptively pops all of his mitigation, gets inside of that meta. Ooh, a nice AoE stun coming out of that Warlock, getting Shelly, making sure all those mobs give Alex a little bit of reprieve, and now he gets a necrotic reset. He's starting to get stacked back up again, though.
Oh, their healer taking one of those slams, but a beautiful play there. The bubble's going to come out to protect him. You blink and you miss it, but he actually cast a bop on the tank there that was immediately canceled as well to remove those stacks. And somehow Alex has found a way here to just drop stacks again by kiting. Incredible, incredible management of the necrotic affix coming out here from evolving. Normally a pull of this size would just be so deadly, especially if you have to actually stay in and generate threat, which if Shella is in your group, you do have to do as a tank. That is absolutely required, or else you're going to get yelled at. You're going to have a dead Warlock mad at you about it. So yeah, I mean, just beautifully played by all 5 members of Evolving so far in this key. This has been a phenomenal performance. And look at the count that they've already established while also getting so low on this first boss. It's an impressive rate. It's an impressive rate of time to build up.
Oh, team name is now engaged Blightbone, but on the big screen we have Perplex with those Anima Exhaust pulsing. Yeah, this is one of the most dangerous pulls. This is the one that you were highlighting, the one with the Bone Storm guy. And look at this. All three of their DPS are over 60k, with their tank also at a nice balmy 55k DPS.
Oh, a Shine fighting for that 3rd place spot on the meters. Needs to beat the tank or else will be deeply embarrassed. Has done it. Ooh, it was close for a while there, but all 3 DPS players are going to make the top 3 of the damage meter here for Perplexed. They have done a great job of making that pull look so easy, but trust me, it is not an easy pull at all. Most people on the live servers will not pull that mini boss with the pull of that size, and it is still scary even without that.
Yeah, and while this is very scary, they do bring that Fleshcrafter with them that is going to help them just do a tremendous amount of damage to Nalthor. Nalthor is absolutely being melted here by using some of those weapons that are in Necrotic Wake with the addition of that Fleshcrafter Cleaver. The Fleshcrafter Cleaver is the best use of that is actually whenever somebody goes down and has to deal with their phase downstairs on that Dark Exile. Ooh, Ryson was able to grab Wolf Disco right before he got gripped by that Dark Exile, allowing him to stay up on top of the platform for 40 seconds. You do see on Wolf Disco's frame that he has that green debuff, and after 40 seconds occurs, he will just die, but it's looking like Nalthor is going to die before Wolf Disco ends up perishing.
Wow, that is a huge time save that Perplexed have done here, and that is an incredibly useful thing if they come up in this match, in this map against another team, but they are done with this series. This is going to be a 2-0 victory for Perplexed in a stunning fashion in Necrotic Wake.
It's like, if you have Combustion, it's like your main damage dealer on those huge pulls, right? Next to the Windwalker. So, the Hunter being able to leave earlier. Oh, Cauterize being procced for a while. He needs to... Okay, oh my god, that is so close! He has to block. I'm not sure if this block might have been too early. I think this block might be too early. He still has pot available, right? So you might
blink immediately. Oh, he got the
buff. Oh
my god!
That was so crazy. Okay, somehow Fenner managed to buff him right as he got pulled down. That was actually absolutely crazy. That was so incredibly close. If Wildy wouldn't have blocked so late, it never would have worked out, because once he got the buff, it was already done, right? Even if Wildy would have went down here, it would have been fine, because Fenner was already down. So it looked like Thanner was saving this pull, but no, it was actually Wildy being so like aware that he has to delay his block, and he risked to actually get that last hit before he got the block out, and it worked. But that was so incredibly close. If he would have blocked a millisecond earlier, they wouldn't have been able to get pulled down before he died. It looked like they almost were able to, like, they almost caught up to Sheesh, right? You saw them being on the same pool, on the same boss, and it looked like they were only like 20%, 30% boss HP behind, which is a lot on Tyrannical, but it is doable still. Thanner just falling off. You can see him laugh on the camera there. Okay, so they have to get Thanner back to the group, unfortunately. But yeah, Evolving, having those 4 deaths on the board, those 20 seconds, actually it's going to be a 15 seconds different now. Thanner has to die again. So it looked like Napster was trying to grip Thanner back to the group, but he didn't manage because he pulled the Enraged Spirit mid-grip. So this is actually a problem now as they're in combat. I'm not sure if they are in combat with the Spirit or if the masks are just still there. Looks like they're not in combat, okay. But they need Thanner to get back to the group, otherwise they're going to be losing so much. Yeah, he's just going in. He's like, I don't need my healer. We cannot wait. He's just going in. This is really risky though. But there we go. Thanner is now back at the group. So they should be, they are going to be fine. But it's good to see that Thanner still has a smile on his face. So the spirits are still high, even though that mistake obviously is like a silly one and you don't want to make that up. That's very possible that they're doing that, considering that they know that they're ahead, right? So it looks like they're pulling the boss now. They have those triple Tormentor debuffs, as you can see on their player frames. So really dangerous. They're not popping their Bloodlust just yet, waiting for some of those cooldowns to come back up as well. And yeah, this is really dangerous though, especially when you have that intermission phase with the woe coming out, the beams that need to be soaked by the players. It's going to be so hard for Eagles to heal that with that 50% healing reduction. They're going to have to use all of their immunities and defensives for that, making sure they're taking at least like half damage if they have anything going on for them with mitigation.
Yeah, you can have a player soak 2 beams at once. So each of those 2 phases, you need 2 players who can soak. So they have 3 immunities across their squad, and then throw in, say, 1 tank in one of the other spots, and that should mean that they mitigate much of the damage. But I mean, look at the pressure on Lepan's health bar here. While he has that extra physical damage taken and reduced healing received, he's already under so much attack as well, and Necrotic is not making things easier.
Yeah, there's just a healing reduction on healing reduction, as Eagle is using Lay on Hands, but it barely healed anything, as he's got so many healing reductions on him. Now we're gonna see that intermission going in, all of the statues are being pulled. Now we're gonna see who's actually soaking that Ritual of Woe, and the Bloodlust also being committed now, so that is something that they were holding on to for healing as also for damage. Like, Punch is dropping so low as Eagle is trying to keep him alive with all that he has, with the Ashen also on the floor, and they just trying to power through this as the next ritual is going to happen in a second. There we go, next ritual is coming in as all the statues getting pulled. Let's see if they can survive this one.
Yeah, this is so intense, but they're almost at the end now. Lepan is so out of resources, though. No meta, no Fiery Brand, no Fell Devastation, and no Last Resort available here. Also does not have a Cheat Death Trinket available. Is going to soak this Ritual also. Gets a nice big shield there. And so he's got that and Hilda's Aegis trinket from the 9, but look at his health, he's got nothing here, he's dead. Oh, he's dead, and they don't have a battle res available, and you can see the boss now is just going to start auto-attacking and dealing a lot of damage here. 20% health on the boss. They need to battle res Lepan, and they've been able to do it. Great battle res there, but he still doesn't have much resources left. He's got Fell Devastation back. And so that's going to put him in meta for another 6 seconds. He is running out of time, but so is the boss now. 10% health. They should be able to get over the finish line here. But this is just so brutal on the tank. Oh my goodness. Oh man, they've done it though. That is the boss's health hitting 0. Wow.
Oh my goodness. Team Name only killing one of the Tormentors there and having an extremely strong finish that Halls of Atonement run. Man, when we talk about, oh yeah, Lord Chamberlain, easy boss fight and everything, you don't have to worry too much. But when you break 3 Tormentors on top of that settles, it is no joke.
So we might see a different approach with the Mechagon area for them.
Right, I mean the big thing is going to be, can they use that Ashen here to enable some massive pull that Team Name can't? And I'm trying to think in my head, what is it that they could do? I remember this massive pull that I saw from watching one of the best Chinese teams play, one of the Aster squads. And I think they might be doing it right now. Their mage pulls those 2 warlords out of the way, or potentially someone else in the group pulls them. Anyone can do it. They all have Shadow Meld. And once that's out of the way, you can pull the rest of those trash mobs into this room. Now what they're going to do is they're going to pull this car into this corner, wait for it to do its first Haywire channel. Once it's channeled, everyone can go around the corner, start pulling the dog. Ashen's just going to sit here and cloak. And now they can all stack all these mobs on top of each other, blitz everything down with AoE, and there are plenty of things in here to dodge the second Haywire from, but because Ashine popped his cloak there and got some single target onto the drill, it's not even going to get a second Haywire cast off. This is such a dangerous pull, but it's executed to perfection by Perplexed here.